Welcome to One More Customer, coming to you live from the Tarkenton studios in Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you for taking time out of your day to join us for this live webcast featuring Fran Tarkenton and Ted Jenkin. I'd also like to thank our business partners and event hosts for creating a place for small business owners to learn, network, and have some fun. Today, you'll learn some simple tricks or hacks for growing your business using digital marketing. But before our presenters make their way into the studio, let me introduce them to you. Fran Tarkenton is an NFL Hall of Fame quarterback, a serial entrepreneur, and a small business advocate. Fran led the Minnesota Vikings to 3 Super Bowl appearances and retired holding every major passing record. However, Fran's passion has always been small business. From the early years of his football career until today, Fran has built more than 20 successful companies. And since 1996, he's been an advocate for small business owners across North America, working with and being honored by organizations including DECA, the U.S. Small Business Administration, the NFL, the University of Georgia, and more. Our special guest today is Ted Jenkin. Ted is the founder and CEO of HyperChat Social and Oxygen Financial. He's the weekend personal finance expert for CNN Headline News and a featured guest writer for the Wall Street Journal. Ted's personal financial practice targets the X and Y generations, and as a sales coach, he focuses on helping other financial advisors, sales professionals, and everyday small business owners expand their business through unique social media marketing. Now that you know our presenters, it's time to get started. We hope you enjoy another great coaching session from One More Customer.
Flash wide to the left, Gilliam in the slot to the left. First and goal from the 7. Fran rolls to the right, dumps it out, caught by Foreman, touchdown! Fran Tarkenton's record-breaking 291st career touchdown pass.
Think about that in your life now. Who's in control of your life? You are.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We're here to help make you smarter and better, give you ideas that will help you start and grow your businesses. And today, Ted Jenkin, who I've known for 2 or 3 years now, is the perfect person for any entrepreneur to listen to, because business is about marketing, isn't it? It's about making a sale. It's about finding more prospects and getting in front of more people. This is, right here next to me, the most creative marketer that I have ever known. Every entrepreneur should listen to him. I will bring you more people in the months ahead. None will surpass what he does, because he's going to talk to you at the core of your business. The only way that you can make your business work is to have revenue. The only way you can get revenue is to get a customer. And the only way you can get a customer is through finding that person somehow. And the old-fashioned way, Ted, has been knocking on doors and cold calling friends and family. Not that that's bad, but that's hard. None of us like to do a lot of that because we get rejected a lot. But what you're doing here in digital marketing, by the way, good morning. And
good morning. Yeah,
good to have you.
Thanks for being on the program.
Take notes, listen to Ted, but tell me about what you're doing here with digital marketing. And I can spell digital marketing, and I know a little bit about digital marketing, but tell our people out there in the field, because this is what they're about. Tell me about digital marketing and what you're doing.
Well, there's so much more power today in the world of digital marketing, because your market is not just in your town or in your city. It's anywhere in the United States, and depending upon your business, it could be literally anywhere in the world. So digital has a number of components to it. It's part about the content that you put out there, it's part social media, it's part advertising, but really your entire spectrum of the clients that you can get today are not bound from people just down the street from you. You don't just have to put a billboard up anymore. You can have a billboard that literally goes across the United States.
So here again, we're leveraging technology. And the companies that are really going today in this economy are sitting out in Silicon Valley, aren't they? The Amazons and the Googles and Apples and so forth, who are breaking new barriers by leveraging technology. And most of us are stuck over here and not leveraging technology. Look at the companies that are not working. The Coca-Colas, the Pepsi-Colas, the shopping centers, the Macy's, the department stores, the big box stores. So what you're doing is being someone who's more in today's news or the future news of using technology to help you reach more people.
Well, I mean, think about this, Fran. You know, no matter what kind of business you're in today, your store is literally open 24/7. This is what makes Amazon so powerful. When you go to Amazon, you don't always realize that you want to buy something. And then they know your habits and tendencies. They show you a bunch of pictures. You start clicking pictures, and the next day, you wonder why your wife has a toaster and your kids have a new pair of sneakers sitting there at the doorstep. And so most business owners you have to get your head wrapped around today that your business is open all the time. I don't care if you're an attorney or you sell donuts or you put down garage floors in somebody's house, your business is open all the time. And what digital is about is knowing that consumers are literally looking at their smartphones and on the internet all hours of the day. So you've got to have strategies to pull the people to you as opposed to going out there and knocking on the doors.
Wow. So you've just taken and expanded your whole ability marketplace-wise. You're not just marketing in Buckhead, Atlanta,
That's right.
or Athens, Georgia, or Santa Monica, California. For our group of people, we're really marketing all over America, every state, and Canada. And so all of our listeners here that are working with us today, or the ones that our guests today, can leverage this, and their store doesn't just have to serve their community, it serves all of America plus Canada.
No, and I think you have to remember that one of the important things, it used to be who do you know? And that still is important today, right?
Yeah.
But what's more important today is who knows you. You may know 1,000 people in your town, but what happens if 100,000 people knew you? Then you've got the ability to them to market all kinds of products and services, give them information, and let them self-select themselves down a funnel to be able to decide whether they want to become a client of yours while you still do some of that core proactive stuff.
How do you do this?
Okay, so what's really cool about this is that Google can be your friend, and Google Chrome has a lot of amazing things. There's an area called extensions. One of the first things I would do if I was a business owner is think about how do I engage a lot of followers? And one of the big areas for followers is using something called duck soup. Now, Fran, this is not like duck soup that we would make at home. This is literally called DUX-SOUP. It's an extension in Chrome. And what this is called, Fran, is called an Autobot. So rather than you being the robot and knocking on doors, the computer can literally, through LinkedIn, knock on doors for you all day long. So imagine, again, you sell donuts, and you wanted to knock on all the doors to sell donuts in your neighborhood. You could do this by using this extra little piece of software, which is free, by the way. Free is good for somebody trying to drive top-line revenue, and it will literally knock on 200, 300, 400, 500 doors a day to make an introduction for people to follow you.
And does it then follow you, and then if they follow you, you can tell them about whatever your product and services are?
But actually, it's even better than that. While you ask someone if they want them to follow you,
Yep.
you can send a message saying, hey, I'm a local business owner. I sell donuts, or like I said, I sell parts for your car, whatever it may be. And literally, you can send a message and saying, hey, if you ever need my services, let's connect, and then that will start the process.
I love the idea of scaling. And entrepreneurs, I've always said, you know, we are industrious, we got energy, never say die spirit. But if you're going to scale, you've either got to have more stores open.
That's right.
Or you got to have more associates working with you, or you got to have a bigger way to reach more people so you can scale.
Here on Duck Soup, what you could do with this API integration or this Autobot is literally say, hey, I don't know if you need legal services or not, or if there's a package to fit within your company's budget, but we should talk about this more, and it would send that message to business owners in 1 to 10 employees, 500 a day.
So you kind
That's
of
pretty crazy.
The word I've always heard, you're dripping on them,
That's right.
but it's real messaging that's automated. How difficult is this to learn and do? Is it expensive to get started in this?
Well, it's free to do this. I mean, you could have somebody run it for you. We'll do that for people, which is still very inexpensive. But, you know, when you send those messages out to people, one of the things to remember is that direct mail to a degree is dead. It's very difficult, less than 0.5%.
No
email
question.
is getting cluttered. You used to say you were happy to go get your email, but, you know, not anymore. Not anymore. You got somebody.
You got a phone call right now.
coming
One
in
of your
here.
people is calling trying to buy your product.
Deal's here for marketing right now. But But the thing is that with this, it really doesn't cost you any money, and you can send out those messages, and you can do 500 a day, and that just makes it really, really powerful stuff. And in LinkedIn, hardly anybody gets LinkedIn mail, so almost all of them will get open, whereas an email, you may get hundreds of them a day.
Yeah. So you're telling me through this digital marketing platform, for lack of a better word, our people can use this and start messaging out to 10, 100, hundreds of people, maybe thousands of people, and with no cost.
That's right. And that's just one example. I mean, a bunch of you have opened up a Facebook page, but there are several ways within your Facebook page to also get thousands of followers. It isn't just inviting your friends.
Yeah.
But all of the contact lists that you have now, whether you do Constant Contact or MailChimp, or you use any of those services, those can be imported very easily into your Facebook business page. And today, in Facebook, for free, you can literally have a button that says, contact me, buy now, learn more, and you can engage people very directly on that page. And it's true in Twitter as well, Fran. There's an opportunity now that every time somebody follows you, you can literally send them a message right away on an automated basis that says, hey, would you like to learn more about putting legal services into your business, for every follower that comes right in there in Twitter.
Ted, you talk about the 3 S's. What are the 3 S's?
Well, it's ironic that I always talk to people when I'm doing digital stuff for them about Kim Kardashian, because for some reason people just love to hate Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
And I ask them, Fran, I say, what do you think Kim Kardashian does for a living? And often I get this response, nothing.
What does she do for a living?
She makes $20 million doing something, but this is where the 3 S's come into place in here, is that number one, when she puts out media at period, it's always social. And a lot of business owners, when they do social media, forget that the media's got to be social. It's not financial media, it's not restaurant media. You know, you could try to put the products out on your business and it won't work, because if it's not social, people won't be talking about it. You know, nobody goes to a party and says, hey, how's your blue chip mutual fund doing? You know, just people don't talk like that. It's also got to be shareable, which means that if somebody looks at the social media, the question is, would they click a button to send what you sent them to a friend? So if it's not compelling enough to send it to a friend, then your social media is not going to work. And then it's got to be snackable. And by snackable means that you've got to make this thing where people can digest it in under a minute.
Yeah.
And I'm serious about that, because if you do some social media where people got to read for 4 or 5 minutes, or they got to watch a video for 10 minutes, they're just going to tune out. It's just the way attention span is today. So you got to make sure it's social, you got to make sure it's shareable, and you got to make sure it's snackable.
Wow. All right. It's a lot of information. We've got, you know, the digital marketing, the social media, and so forth. And if I were you people, I thought, wow, this is exciting. It's certainly scalable, right?
Yes, it is.
And scalable is what we're all looking for. How do we take little old me and make hundreds or thousands of me out there that are bringing our message to more people? And this seems to me to be a cost-effective basis, because you haven't talked cost to me at all.
That's right. I mean, you could do this all yourself for no cost, but it can still be done even if you outsource it for very low cost. Remember that step 1 is getting all those followers, but step 2, friends, is really about content. That content's got to be really powerful to engage people within these 3 S's, because if not, they'll just stop following what it is that you talk about. And a mistake a lot of owners make, and this is really how you drive top line revenue, is that if you put out content and you send somebody to a third-party article, friend, you send them to Wall Street Journal, or you send them to Better Homes and Gardens, well, what good does that do your business if you send that prospect? That's like coming to a seminar and saying, thanks for coming to my seminar. By the way, there's a good one over there at Ruth Chris Steakhouse that you should go to later to hear the rest of this.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that. So there's a little software in there called Sniply, SNIP.ly, Sniply.
Are you making this stuff up?
Oh, no. This is all free. I wish I could have created Sniply. It's a really cool
as much as
software.
I've gotten in this world in the last 5 years or so, I've never heard of Sniply.
What Sniply does is every time you send your people to a third-party article, ESPN, Wall Street Journal, New York Times, it puts a little box that says, would you like to learn more about my restaurant? Or would you like to learn more about my auto body shop? Or would you like to learn more about my attorney firm? Click here, learn more, get the free ebook, and it pops up right on the screen.
Yep.
And every single one of those articles, because what people do, Fran, is as they peruse these different articles, eventually people get bored, they get tired, and this is what Amazon's really good at, and they get you to click buttons. And so if you're not in a social media strategy where you're getting people to click buttons, what's going to happen is you're going to send them to an article. They're not going to go home and say, boy, that Fran, he's a great guy. He sent me this wonderful article in the Wall Street Journal. I'm better off today. Now I should do business with him. That's not what he's going to say. He's going to say the Wall Street Journal had a really good article. I ought to read more Wall Street Journals. So you've got to have a way to move those prospects from the social media content to your website so they can become a lead.
That's really good. Because I find myself at my age reading on my too cool smartphone or my too cool iPad. I'm reading information every day, articles, people that are suggesting articles, and I find myself being so much more informed today than I was 20 years ago, 10 years ago, because I've got access to more information.
Right.
And all this makes sense. It also, as a marketer, an old-time salesperson, an insurance salesman, I used to knock on doors, go to your warm market, go to your friends and family, and a lot of shoe leather, and I've got to sit down at the kitchen table and I got to talk about what I'm doing and how I'm selling insurance and how you need it and all this. Now, that's not scalable. It's only scalable to how many hours of the day or week that you and I are going to work. But if I can develop a strategy here, both digital, right, and social media, and I can work at that, make that work, it doesn't cost me much of anything, and I can scale whatever business I'm in.
Well, and I'll give people watching today, this is a great free tip. Not everyone can be like Fran and be famous and you get all sorts of TV shows and radio shows, but you can get yourself to be successful in your market with the media for free, Fran. There's a website called HARO. HARO stands for Help a Reporter Out.
HARO.
HARO. Help a Reporter Out.
Go, man.
And here's what this is all about. 80% of the reporters today are independent freelancers. They get paid by the word or by article. And if you go to this website for free, every day you can see the 100 articles that all these freelancers are writing for Fortune, Entrepreneur, USA Today, New York Times. And if you give them a quote, they will quote you in the newspaper for free. Now, I would have told you I don't think this didn't work, but I started doing this 5-6 years ago. I got myself quoted in over 150 publications, became a featured writer for the Wall Street Journal, and now have my own segment on the weekend on CNN Headline News for free. Did not cost me one single dime to do this.
You went from being on these shows. He started here, I know, because that's where I was.
Local radio.
Local radio. Yeah. I heard you, reached out to you, and now you actually are doing spots on CNN.
Yes.
He's not buying spots on CNN.
Right, just for free.
And he's doing them to CNN for free for that exposure, obviously, but you're not paying CNN for that exposure that you're getting.
That's right. I mean, the trick is today is that most of these reporters, they may know nothing around money, or if they're writing about real estate or whatever it may be, they're just getting paid because they're writers.
Yeah.
So they need your expert content, and then if you follow up after and say, hey, I've got a great idea for a story, most of them love that because they get paid for that story. Now, you're not going to get paid anything, but the exposure to get 3 minutes on TV or an article in the Wall Street Journal, I mean, it's invaluable when you're building your brand and trying to draw customers.
What you're doing is building credibility, are you not?
That's right.
If people hear you on CNN, see you on CNN, or hear you on the radio, say, wow, gosh, he makes sense. Got some credibility there. Then I can translate that right to what you're talking about here. If they like your content on digital marketing or social media, you got the same thing going.
Well, and this is the big thing. All of you are going to spend money on a website, but over time, just remember that comic book websites do better. And what I mean by that is that people don't read anymore. They want to click pictures. And so your question shouldn't be, is your website beautiful? Your question should be, did my website generate me leads? So you may have a web person that says, oh, website's doing great, Fran. We got 5,000 people to come. Yeah, but how many became leads? So remember, if you don't have buttons to click for people to click on pictures or to say, I want a free ebook, or I want to request a consultation, or I want to learn more, then you're missing the boat, because your store's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So give people a chance to become a client.
Wow. I hope you're enjoying this as much as I am enjoying it. And I know you're sitting there with some of my business partners all across America and in Canada. And I want to thank you for joining us today. Get with my business partner and ask about what we do and what kind of business we're in, and then come back every month and we have this type of content for you so that you can get smarter and better in your business. And Ted, thank you so much. But if they would like to get in touch with you, get more information from you, how can they reach you?
Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do here. If you go to batopadvisor.com, that's batopadvisor.com, we're going to do two things. One is I have a free brochure I'll give everybody, Fran, on 10 client acquisition techniques you've never heard of before. One of them, for just $14, you'll be able to pick up clients in Starbucks. That's something that you've got to get. Okay. But if you want more coaching, we've got a discounted program to help you learn the basics of this social media and digital marketing so you can implement it in your business and grow more top-line revenue.
Thank you so much, Ted, and thank you for joining us, and hopefully we'll see you next month.